find your zone every day. Find your zone every day.
Didn't have to cut me off. Thought we were nothing. I don't even need your love, but you treat me like a stranger, and I feel so low. So low. Got it back to my journey. Change your number. I said I don't need that phone. Now you're just about it, and I used to know. Now you're just about it, and I used to know. Now you're just about it, and I used to know.
Woo! What is going on, you guys? It is I, Dollar Cost Crypto, here with the New Year's stream, man. What's going on, you guys? Sheesh! Welcome to 2023, motherfuckers. We back. Yeah. Wake up. That's right. Colon Unger. That's right. Wake the hell up. What is up, you guys? Damn, it feels good to be back. I'm in the old studio right now. We'll be in the new studio in a couple of days. All the guys are off right now, but we'll be back in the new studio within a couple of days and stuff. So, damn, it's good to see everybody, man. Sheesh! Damn, 2023, baby, is here, baby. This is the time. This is the time of gains, baby. The gains shall return this year, but not without trepidation and drops and pumps and rugs. And all kinds of other fucking crazy-ass news, man. We're more than likely going to start seeing the government involvement in crypto in terms of legislation later this year. I mean, with the amount of stuff that we are going to see this year is going to be kind of crazy. But I do believe the worst is behind us, you guys. The worst is behind us, man. But you have to prepare yourself that there is going to be regulations and the inkling of coming regulation, right? Stablecoin mostly in the beginning, but there's going to be some on very light DeFi and then a little bit more on kind of the pre-existing cryptos that exist right now. Something like things that have to do with Aave and like Uniswap and things like that and everything like that. But yeah, shout out to you guys, man. Hope you guys had a really great New Year's and of course, Christmas, man, with your families and stuff like that. I was just traveling myself and everything like that. But hey, let me say hi to the chat. What's up? What's up, Taurus, man? Woo! Let's fucking go. What's up, DCC? What's up, man? Hugh Hefner in the chat. Shoo! What's up, man? Completion fails. DCC, what's up, baby? What up, man? Shit. Let's see. That's right. Jesus lives, man. Jesus lives. Oh, and the new Rolex check. New Rolex on the wrist as well, sir. Let's keep going in the chat, man. Let's keep going back, man. Mr. Angry Twinkie, man. What's up? Pump it up, baby. Let's go, dude. Hey. Blue Jay, what's up, man? Happy New Year, you degenerates. That's right, man. Oh, no new person I haven't seen in the chat. Action Abram. Yo, what's up, man? Welcome, man. And Alex Santos with the fire and for the algo, man. Woo! Josie Wales, man. What's up, man? Dude, it's cool to see everybody, man, back in here, man. That's really tight. Let's keep going. Oh, shout out to Crypto Boogie, baby. Yeah, that's right. We back. And Funk Master Hex, man. DCC back up in this mudda blucka. Oh, I think I forgot one person right here. Damn, there's so many of you guys. What is going on? What's up, Art Man? Art Savo. Angelo. Que pasa, way? Boom Gang assemble, man. Pro special. Boom, baby. We back. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, man. Zach Locke. What's up? We got Alex in the chat. What's up? What's good, DCC? This course was fuego. It was very informative. I know, man. We're just back from the courses. I think Charlie will be back in maybe 5 or 6 days in regular streaming schedule and stuff like that, which would be cool. But until then, I'm holding it down right now. Oh, I think I forgot the first person. And the first person to comment on the stream today was Nate the Great. Shout out to you, man. Let's get the likes up, man. Let's get the likes up, you guys, man. But I used to be lazy, Abram. Wow. Hey, that's a mindset improvement right there, man. Fuck all that lazy shit. Action, Abram, man. Action, Abram, that deserves. Action, Abram, Brad. No more lazy. Out of there. It is time for action, homies. Acción. Es tiempo para mover esos pinches piernas, para mover ese dinero, para comprar todas sus putas monedas. That is so cool, dude, man. Shout out to you, Action Abram, man. That's what's up, man. Crypto mindset for the win, man. All right, we got our first super chat of the stream, Willie Belong 33. With a $20 and 2023. Oh, that's funny. Thank you so much, man. 2023, here we go. Yeah, man. And shout out to all the Red Pill Lions as well. Actually, let me tell you guys something. I'll be traveling out to go visit the Red Pill Lions home in their studio. I think later this month and stuff. We're still arranging kind of a date for it and stuff, but it should be probably in the last week or so of January and stuff. So that'll be really cool. We're gonna do a cool stream with the Red Pill Lions. So shout out to the Red Pill Lions, man. And shout out to the homie Crypto Boogie, man, with the $5 super chat. Fuego fire, man. That's what's up, man. And we got another Crypto Mindset alumni. What's up, Crypto Sloth, man? What's up, dude? Yo. We got Ivan from New Mexico. Free Top G. Yeah, free Top G for sure, man. Spark. You got to be drinking that sparkling water, man. And actually, I was literally about to say this before even the Top G comment. Yo, dude, this shit hit. When you're thirsty, man, some San Pellegrino, man, this I'm telling you guys, buy the glass bottles, not the plastic. But anyway, man, sheesh. We are back, you guys, man. That was what we just came out of. It was the longest crypto mindset course we have ever done. I mean, absolutely the longest course we've ever done. I mean, it was kind of insane. It was kind of borderline insane how much stuff we did, but. No, I'm really glad that we were able to do a lot of cool stuff with that. So, yeah, glad to be back. Let me see if I can put this on the screen. Do I have it? I guess I'll pull it up later. Yeah, but it's fine. I like the lemon flavor Pellegrino. Yeah, whichever. So I haven't tried that one yet, but I mostly just been trying these. But the Pellegrino is cool. But man, what is going on, man? Wake Dog. Have you looked at Zen? Yeah, I personally don't really like it. It seems like too much of an inflationary sort of game. But some people have been able to just make profit off of it by just having enough wallets to keep minting Zen or keep creating new wallets and making Zen. Some people have been able to actually pull out some profit from it and stuff. So hey, but the price of that token is really going to be dictated by the gas fee price, because if the let's just say the Ethereum gas fee really shoots up, then it becomes extremely unprofitable to mint it. Then the token might actually appreciate in value up until the point where people will be able to kind of mint a new supply. So it's kind of a rubber band action with it, where like when Ethereum fees are really high, people don't mint as much, then that supply gets kind of bought up, and then it would shoot up in price a lot. But then as soon as it shoots up in price, they'll hit a certain point where then people start printing it up again, and then boom, pretty much I would imagine price collapse from there. So it's going to have these boom and bust cycles, completely dependent on the kind of the price it costs to print it. And then the one thing that I would be a little worried with that coin is if one day Ethereum just gets the fees down to such a cheap rate that, I mean, you would just have this huge expansion of supply and stuff like that. But even though I do know over time the supply does go down over the next 8 years, so yeah, it's interesting. It's just kind of a game. I just really don't want to play it and stuff like that. I mean, I did free mint a couple wallets and stuff of Zen. I don't hate the coin or anything like that. It's just I just knew it was just, a lot of people were going to get hurt buying the coin, and its price performance has kind of shown so. So anyone who kind of bought some around the time it came out are down bad, real fast. Dang. Oh man, but anyway, man, hey, it's good to see you, man. Good to see you. Actually, matter of fact, like all jokes aside, you see the little picture right here? This reminds me. I actually watched that movie. What's it called? Puss in Boots and stuff. It was actually a really good movie, and there's like a wolf that's one of the main characters of that movie. It's a pretty good movie. I'd recommend you guys watch it. But what's up, man? Mr. Treehee. Let's see. Snap DC back from New Year's. Is that the green face rolls? No. It's it is a Dayjust actually. Let me see if I can show you guys a white gold Dayjust and stuff. It's really cool. I really like this watch, man. Got little diamonds in it and stuff. It's pretty nice. I think it's obsidian face on it and stuff. So pretty cool, man. I just walked in the store and they had it, so I was like, oh dang, I'll only take it. So there you go. Yeah, don't be buying Rolexes off of the the aftermarket or the gray dealers if you can help it and stuff. Sometimes you are able to like go in the stores and stuff. So if you ever are in the market to buy a Rolex or something like that, always just check as many stores as possible. Just walk in different times. Like most of the time, if I'm being honest, most of the time I've been able to pick up a Rolex in the store has always been a little bit after lunchtime. So it's like somewhere between like 1 to 4 p.m. in the afternoon in your local time. And I've been able to like snag up some Rolexes, getting them at like retail price, which is way below what some of the secondhand dealers in the gray market will sell them for. So yeah, man, it's kind of cool because when you buy these watches from retail, they actually are like, most of them should be an instant profit. But depending on the model and stuff like this one, like it's not that much extra in profit and stuff. But hey, but you have to, if you want to watch, It's just is what it is. But yeah, man, thank you so much. Willie B. Long, what's up, Sloth? Yes, sir. Okay, Kings of Jacks. I can feel the fire of Miguel Sol tonight. Definitely, man. Definitely. It's crazy ass trip I went on. Let's see. Yeah, any news on the Hex documentary? Yeah, I don't really expect it to come out until maybe like for end of first, kind of middle of second quarter. That's kind of the range right now. But it is on the way. We will have the movie out this year, which is really nice. And I've got some more stuff to talk about with Pulse Chain and a bunch of these other kind of updates I have. So let me just get through some of these questions. All right, Davis with the $5 super chat. I hope Grayscale gets liquidated so I can buy Bitcoin at 5 or 6K. That would be nice, but holy shit, that'd be bad. I don't expect Bitcoin to go that low, but like if some gigantic catastrophic liquidation event were to happen, I would actually expect more like $9,000 to be probably the low. I wouldn't really expect to have a $5,000 or $6,000 big Bitcoin. But if it happens, I'll have capital ready to purchase. At those prices, I am a net buyer of Bitcoin. If we get 11, 9, 6, $5,000 Bitcoin, like, man, why not? Right? It's like buying a fucking half a penny fucking hex. $5,000 buys you 1 million hex. 5,000 buys you 1 Bitcoin. Dudes, that is such a fucking deal, bros. That is such a great deal. Like, damn, son, $5,000 for a Bitcoin, $5,000 for 1 million hex, man. That's incredible, man. I mean, oh my god, if I could play some of these memes I got in the background, I would do it, bro. But I get demonetized in a second. But yeah, let's say eBay has a good is good. eBay is good for Rolex when they guarantee authenticated by them. I've never personally. I can't recommend eBay or any of those websites. You could buy them. You could buy it off of Chrono24. It's a great place to just look at kind of market prices. It's not perfect, but it is a place where you could buy some watches there. and Chrono is pretty trusted. So it's like an app you can download on an iPhone or Android. Chrono 24. It's a cool little app to kind of check the price of watches that you're kind of looking for and stuff like that. And I would probably recommend, especially for your first watch, if you are going to purchase any kind of Rolex or something like that, I'd recommend you probably getting a Rolex over like an AP or anything like that, because in terms of resale value, look, the normie, look, it's sort of what like Richard Hart sort of says over time is that like there's like stunting for rich people, and then there's stunting for just about almost everybody else, right? There's a certain like subtle stunt where like only people with money know it's like, wow, that's so cool. But you see, you meet or unless you're just really around a lot of those people on average in your lifetime, um, it doesn't really have the kind of crazy effect that you're kind of looking for. You have more of a dramatic effect in your life with stuff that people kind of know about, right? Like imagine you had this really rare vintage car, but from the fucking 60s, but it doesn't look that cool. But all the people who know about stuff are like, holy crap, that's really cool. But if you're trying to impress or trying to like go like people would be like, holy crap, you're better off with a Lamborghini or something like that, because more people would actually be able to like recognize that, like, oh, that's actually a status symbol and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, Chrono 24 is what I recommend to kind of just start like tippy toeing and looking at what you want and stuff like that. And then a lot of times too, if you actually walk inside a Rolex store, they actually will give you like you could ask them, hey, do you have like a booklet or something like that so I could see the watches and stuff? And then sometimes they'll be able to give you one with like all the lines of watches for that year. Though there is like some private watches that they don't really like end up like selling. More they don't really like print in there because they're limited quantities. But yeah, man, let me just go right back up to here. Let's see. But yeah. So I hope Grayscale gets liquidated so I can buy it at the 5 to 6K sort of price and stuff. Yeah, I mean, like if we did hit that point, I mean, that's the sort of point we talked about this in the course, but that's the sort of point where like if we did hit these kind of levels, like fuck holding stable coins. At some point, you've got to choose between, are you a crypto guy or are you just some fucking fiat like holding asshole? You know what I mean? And there's a certain thing where like you have to take the leap of faith where like, fuck it, I'm in. I'm taking that leap of faith. And that's what you have to do, you know. You have to at some point you have to choose where you are going to start allocating your capital, and at some point you have to. I'm just like if we flash crash to that point, I'm literally just taking these stack of chips and just let's go. It's go time, homies. Because we would not last at those prices for very long. Let's just say, no, I'm not saying we're going that low, but like as an example, right? Let's just say we did hit that 5K you said, right? As like, I don't think we're going to hit that low, just FYI. But if we did, right, we hit 5K on BTC, we popped to 11 Gs within a day or so. Because every other person with half a brain will be like, yo, this is the low. Capital would start hitting. There's $100 billion in stables right now. I'd be shocked if there wasn't like 20 billion that instantly just went into the market like that. And that would hit the low, and then from there we've hit the lows at that point, because it'd just be stupid not to. I mean, like you imagine like an average guy's probably like there's probably people in here that did okayish in the last bull market, maybe sitting on $20,000 to $40,000 of dry powder, maybe 10,000. That means like just about everybody could more or less buy themselves like half a Bitcoin to like 5 Bitcoin if it did go that low. I'm not saying it will. I'm more confident on 9 to 11 grand than I am, you know, 5 to 6. But hey, fuck it, maybe it's 7, right? Can you imagine that? Like 20 grand buying you 4 Bitcoin. Those 4 Bitcoin just like we're more like over this year, right? Because I on this next stream, I'm planning to do an actual very interesting. As soon as I'm back in the studio, I'm planning to do a very interesting stream. I kind of been thinking about what kind of stream I want to do. Once a week, I kind of want to do a stream where I kind of react to videos on the internet and stuff like that, in terms of like just interesting stuff, either about like economics, demographics, crypto, just something that interests me that I think that would interest you guys, and just kind of reacting around it and kind of like putting my kind of spin on like how that affects the crypto space, as well as like just the overall like kind of macro market and stuff like that. Because macro, as well as like the overall like economies of the United States, and as well as the whole economies of the very much the rest of the world, really are going like, because crypto is a worldwide is a worldwide thing now, right? It isn't just like something Americans are using, or a couple of Australians or some Aussie fucks, or as the UK is using, right? This is a worldwide thing, and as crypto gets larger and larger and larger, macroeconomics are really going to start playing a really pivotal point inside of this market, as well as like we always do have to focus on the United States as well, because the United States is the leading factor in the world economy, right? If the United States is doing very well, then there's kind of like a lot of wind in the sail of that, right? In this last bull market, we really didn't have the help of, I would say, one big part of the Asian market, which was China. China pretty much was trying to do everything and anything in its power to kind of undermine its cryptocurrency infrastructure, as well as its market, right? I mean, they banned I know it's all a joke. They ban mining every other day, but I mean, literally, they would ban Bitcoin, unban Bitcoin, ban Bitcoin mining like every other year. But they were so hard this time around that they legitimately really cracked down hard on them, that it actually took them from first place in Bitcoin mining over to the Americas now, and in Europe as well, right? And this, I would say, this is one of the leading factors why we probably did not hit as high in prices as we should have, because if China as well as other parts of Asia kind of were like chillaxed a little bit in terms of what they were doing, how against they were against crypto, we probably would have seen much higher highs in the cryptocurrency prices in 2021. As well as the way everything was kind of forming out, if we had that, we probably would have had much higher highs in 2021, and probably it's kind of hard to say in terms of the timeline, because if we had the help of like China really buying, then we probably would have hit, I mean, we could have hit some crazy prices. I mean, I'm not saying like 200 grand or anything like that, but we probably hit like $120 or so, maybe a little higher. And that's how important Asia was to those factors. It's just we didn't have that. So obviously a lot of entities were kind of over leveraging themselves in order to try to attain those kind of prices. So yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Late 28, man. What's going on, man? Hex multi-millionaire status achieved. Shee! Bags packed for the fam. I'm ready. When bull run. It's happening, man. I mean, the bull market's it won't truly start until 24, but 2020, there's some good chance, there's some really good plays to make some money in 2023, man. And I'm gonna get into some of those later in the stream and stuff, but man, 2023 is looking at like it's gonna be a turbulent year, but it's gonna be a decent year to make some cheddar, man. More than likely, we are going to get some effects and stuff, especially when the Federal Reserve starts increasing the interest rates, that we really can get some sort of like rocket fuel in the market. Since first down, first up, right? So we were the first market that's going to get smacked by interest rates kind of going down, raising up. That when they just finally decide to say, okay, we're chilling out on interest rate increases, we're probably more than likely going to go into a mini bull market in 2023. But remember that's going to get shouldered probably by politicians or something like that. But so just remember that if we do for some reason really rise up very quickly in price this year, to make sure to take some fucking profits, because if it comes too fast, it's bullshit, right? So, hey, congratulations to my multi-millionaire Hexicans, baby. Yeah. King of Jacks, man. If Grayscale gets liquid, I wouldn't be surprised if we got a pulse chain launch date soon after that, or it shocks. Yeah. That's something that he looks at all the time and stuff. So definitely that. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, you guys, man. Woo! We'll be answering a lot of questions, and man, I'm glad to be back, dudes. Got a lot on my mind, that's for sure. Let's see. Stan the man 25. Too many people expecting Hex below a penny. Sometimes it tells me we get it a capitulator near the dollar, but it gets brought up and yeah. I mean, it's in play now, right? Like where I think the low could possibly be would be like 56% of a penny now. I had before I had a more, so there was so my original, so I had this original sort of, I think I said it maybe last year. I said sometime maybe in the middle of last year or so that I thought Hex could hit half a penny. And the reason I kind of changed my tune up to that, because it looks like we were kind of ramping up to have it launched. And then basically what happened was that Ethereum 2.0 came out and it kind of scrapped that launch, and they had to redo the code basis and just kind of basically just redo the entire work they had pretty much done. Big fucking L on Pulse Chain there, but because of that, it delayed it out and stuff like that. So that half a penny's kind of back on. So if I were to just say like I would say half a penny, I think would be the absolute low. I don't see it going lower than that. It's kind of like $5,000 gets you a million hex, right? About a penny, 10 grand gets you a million, and the math's pretty easy from there, right? So, you know, we're probably looking at something like 56% because I mean, if the all-time high was 56 cents, then 100x at 56% of a penny would be 56 cents. So basically, I think that would be the absolute low, but I don't think we'd hold it for very long. I think it would be almost a wick down there, boom, and it pop back up. I think most people would be lucky to buy it at 90% of a penny, if I'm being honest. And more than likely, most of you guys are just going to be buying it between like a low of 1.3 cents to like current prices now and stuff like that. So I've done a DCA personally at these prices. I think I did one at 1.9 recently. And if it goes lower, then I'm gonna do a much larger one and stuff like that. And if for any point we hit below a penny, I'm unloading the bags, baby. I'm unloading the bag. Sheesh. Yeah. What's up, Pulse 777? Pulse and PulseX win launch, bud. What is launch price? Do you think 3-month price launch? I'm not really going to do price predictions on Pulse Chain until it launches or anything like that. It's just like it all depends on the starting price. Basically, the first validator is going to choose. Basically, the first transaction on the chain sets the price, and it can be set at any point. I mean, so they could set Pulse at $1, but I would more than imagine Pulse would fucking like crater at that. You know what I'm saying? Or if they even set it at a penny, or a tenth of a penny, or a hundredth of a penny, right? So it all really depends on where they set the price, and then from there, it's just either he sets it low so he can pump like crazy, or he sets it high to see maybe if it holds. There's a bit of a gamble there, so I'm pretty sure that the person that's going to do that is really thinking pretty hard about that, but probably has a good idea what they're going to do. But the market is a lot more bearish right now, so it's like if I was that person, I would probably err on more of the conservative side. That way, I mean, hey, the person probably is very good at charting, so they probably know what they're doing. What's up, Vic? That watch is damn sexy. Thank you, sir. I really love this watch. Like the reason I got this watch was just because it just goes good with black. It was black. I always wear black and grays. Those are my favorite colors and stuff to wear. And like, man, this is a great watch, and it's really hard to scratch up to and stuff like that, man. So I've always had gold watches and stuff like that, but like it's kind of nice to have like an old kind of a silver white gold watch and stuff. So it's kind of nice. But yeah, man, looks for danger. What is up, man? Hey, DCC. I've been building up my crystal BTC pool on DFK. Sheesh. Okay, that's actually not a terrible pool. Let's see. Should I use crystals to buy Jewel later on? And you're talking about Jewel. You're talking about the crystal veil. Yeah, what I've been doing recently, it's like I've been like I kind of liked it back in the day when I could just deposit crystal and like I didn't have a lockup on it, but now I have to choose a lockup, which kind of fucks it up a little bit for me. So it's like I'm actually thinking about creating a dummy account just to send as my savings account, like creating like another account just to send my crystal and jewel that I'm just so I don't spend it. Want to put it in LP pool just because it's starting to bother me. But I mean, I'm surprised. Like basically, like obviously, you know, this is my 2 cents here. Personally, I would be selling half the crystal into jewel. And then, you know, probably saving up some of my crystal. The crystal, I think crystal is pretty close to a low. Sorry, I'm still just a little bit of a cold. But Crystal, I think, is right now currently at 8 cents right now. And if we did get another drop down, it would probably head somewhere into like the 5 to 4 cent range, and that's about the low on that on Crystal. I don't see it going lower than that. Jade is slowly going towards that right now. I think Jade currently is at 13 cents. There's still some really decent yield to be earned on Jade right now. You can do a lot of the Jade Ethereum, Jade Bitcoin, Jade USDC pools are still in like the 12 to 1400 APR range, which is pretty good. And even Jade, currently the only pool I have right now is just Jade Jewel, which is at 800 APR right now. So I'm still doing that pool, and the APRs are just going to hold up for a while. So that's kind of what I'm doing. But basically, I would probably do like a strategy outside if you're not trying to build up USDC or anything like that from your yield, right? I would probably just do like half your yield should be going into Jewel, liquid Jewel, and the other half should just be stacking up your Jade and your Crystal, or whatever, or unless you're using all that stuff to concentrate like yield that you're earning on Citadel and Crystal Vale and kind of either boosting one pool or the other. But since the yield's so high in the other pools and the price is at 13 cents versus 8 cents, it'd probably be better just to earn it on Jade. But it does look like there's going to come a point where Jade's going to end up kind of matching Crystal at some point, as well as I do think there's a point where Crystal is actually going to be probably worth a little bit more than Jade, just because there's so much emissions coming out right now. And the Crystal, I mean, the yield on Crystal Vale is really bad right now. I mean, it's like 80% APR, maybe even 100, 150 on some pools, versus like the lowest pool on Citadel right now is like 800s. And the highest are like, 1500% APR. So the APRs are just so much higher that like it is going at some point there's going to be a course correction where I think Jade is going to end up probably being lower than Crystal. So there might be a little bit of flip there and stuff like that. So if you're willing to kind of play the game a little bit, you could end up kind of start buying the lows with yield. I'm not saying cash here, but like you could sell some Jade, start selling a little bit, half your Jade into Jewel and then half your Jade into Crystal there, and then might end up working as a sort of a flip that eventually you'll be able to turn that when the Crystal's higher than the Jade, you might be able to kind of flip flop back and do some ratio trading there. But if you just want to deal with that, I mean, personally, I'm kind of doing that myself right now. But I am kind of building up my Jade LPs right now, with my Crystal emissions and my Jade emissions, and then eventually I will kind of start doing a little bit of that ratio trading once I think it's kind of bottomed a bit. But yeah. More than nice of you to put it on the cam, but I thought I saw the green faces. Yeah, I saw the green face. Was like, well, yeah, it's not a green face. It's what's it called? Obsidian? No, I'm sorry. Rhodium. Forgive me. Rhodium. Is it really coming out green? Let's see. There we go. Yeah. It's a nice watch, man. But man, shout out to you, bro. All right, Pulse 77 follow up AMA. What the heck's going on with Hex? Do you think it will go down to what is that? A penny? Yeah, I mean, it probably will go down to a penny. I mean, we're at a penny right now, so I think we're at 1.8 cents right now. Short term, we're probably heading to like 1.3 cents as there's people still selling Hex right now and stuff falling for some of the FUD. I don't believe the SEC FUD is that crazy for Hex though, but but there's a bit of a crime. I mean, regardless or not, this is giving people a buying opportunity, but risk what you're willing to. You only buy what you're willing to risk. You know what I mean? But I've been DCAing personally. So let's keep going. And hit the like button, you guys, man. Crypto Chino, man. What is up, man? That's a nice picture, you guys. DCC, Happy New Year 2023 will be glorious for the entire RH ecosystem. Heck yeah. Hex has a major support around 1.4 cents. Yeah. And thinking that's the ultimate bottom. I've been DCAing the entire bear market. Beautiful. The only reason I say 1.3 is because there's always a little bit of wick down, a body of the candle and stuff like that. So, but as long as you're DC, I mean, like tomatoes, man. Let's just say you're right. Let's just say the true bottom is 1.4, and you bought like 1.8. Oh well, you know what I mean? But as the price gets lower and lower, right? So let's just like this is the kind of the head games when you're buying lows and stuff like this. Is you have at some point you just have to forgive yourself. You're just not gonna like as long as you're within a range, you're cool. You know what I mean? Like when I bought the other day, I bought when Hex first crashed down right now to like 1.9 cents. I bought right there because that was a level that I wanted to buy at. And then right now it's at 1.8. I'm like, oh no, I'm such an idiot. Oh, how could I have been so stupid? I bought at 1.9 and now it's 1.8. That's it. It's over. My career's done. Oh my god, I gave all my money to the plebs. Oh, like I mean, come like you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Now, let's rewind this back a little. Let's just say I bought at 1.9 and then I stopped buying and then it went down to like 0.5 and I had the capital and I just didn't want to because I was scared. That's different. That's an L on me, right? That's an L on me. But if like for some reason you just don't have any more capital, that's okay. I mean, sometimes you just like hey, it went down to like half a penny or it went down to like a penny and flat. I just didn't have any more capital. That's okay. You know, same. I mean, it's gonna happen. Let's just say like you buy Ethereum at $900 and its all-time low is 700, or like you bought it at 1100 and it went down to 7 and you just didn't have any more. It's okay. Close enough. You did pretty. Now, does it help? Fuck yeah, of course it does, right? Like 50% of a penny, 5,000 for a million. 80% of a penny, 8,000 for a million. At a penny, 10,000 for a million. 1.3, 13,000 for a million. 1.8, 1.9. You know what I mean? It does add up. But in the grand scheme of things, if the thing's up multiples, shit. Are you gonna be that mad? No, not really. You know, so yeah. J. Lou, man, what's going on with the $10 super chat? Sup, DCC? Have you looked into Versa Games platform? Do you think ILV will pump this year? I think Illuvium will. I think Illuvium will have a pump on Illuvium, probably closer to second or third quarter. And Versa Games, I have not looked into it just yet. I'll definitely end up making some note about that and stuff, and I'll definitely take a look at it, man. But thank you so much, man. I do think we will get pumped this year. We are going to get the launch of the game this year, and we're going to get the launch of the mobile app. It looks like it's probably going to be on Android before Apple. I mean, just the reason for that is because like Apple has this whole thing where they pretty much get anything that you sell on the Apple App Store, the Apple App Store takes about 30% cut from the sales of it. So there's a bit of like, you know, kind of jiggering that they have to kind of do there. And a lot of platforms don't really like that. They're giving away 30% of what they're doing to Apple. You know, this is why Apple makes so much money off of the App Store and stuff like that. It's just all profit. You know, they have this giant ecosystem and they have this moat right there. So but at the same time, they can also kick you off the App Store too. So it's kind of a give and take. I mean, they were recently threatening Twitter to take Twitter off of it. I mean, sheesh, not good. But you know, making enemies like that does eventually cost you, even though like you could bully people around. Eventually, if you kick off enough big platforms off, they'll fucking start rugging you, and then everyone will just jump off to another platform. So Apple is in a kind of a precarious sort of situation right now, and even though they have been migrating a lot of their manufacturing over to India, they still have a substantial amount of their manufacturing still in China. So right now, like I think they're falling, they're kind of not keeping up with demand of creating the new iPhones and stuff like that, the iPhone 14 Pro Maxes and stuff like that. And it looks like they're going to miss their numbers and stuff like that. So the one thing that I'm personally looking at right now, like right now in Q1, actually January, I'm sorry, is now there's different dates for when the Q4 numbers for Apple come out, but it's looking like somewhere between the 21st to the 25th we're going to get the Apple numbers, and more than likely they're going to miss their numbers by a decent margin, maybe like 5 to 14% on their numbers. And Apple's been kind of the last Mohican, kind of holding up their stock price. It hasn't it's gone down a little bit, 15% or so, or 20%, but it hasn't done as bad as some of the other stuff like Tesla or Facebook and everything like that. You know, Netflix, all these, the FANGs and shit have all done very terribly. Even Google's gone down quite a bit. So when Apple finally shits the bed, with this kind of price, with this miss right here, I mean, and with the increasing federal funds rate that's going to happen we're going to have at least 2 more rate hikes, at least. Probably the last rate hike's probably going to be in March or so. So It could happen. That'd be cool if it happened sooner, but it's probably gonna it's probably gonna happen in March. But when all this stuff kind of happens and you have that stuff in January, we're probably looking at the Nasdaq taking a bit of a hit, and that's going to kind of take a hit on the crypto market because we're correlated somewhat to it. So as a technology, so just as an FYI, we're probably looking if Apple does bad, then we're going to get like a dump in crypto as well. Nothing severely, but it's more of just like an extra like a side contagion sort of dump. But just keep that on your periphery. Somewhere between the 20th to the 30th, the crypto market's probably gonna get weak off of the Nasdaq taking a shit if Apple takes a shit. So just be on the lookout there, man. Yeah. Is this the year of DeFi? I think the back half, yes, and GameFi as well. We're gonna GameFi might even be in 2024. It's just we're gonna get some pumps, man, this year. There's a lot of stuff going on, man. But definitely we're gonna have some cool stuff, man. The thing is just having capital ready, DCAing. We're at nice prices right now. Let's just say even if the low is 40% lower from here, it's just a great time to be DCAing into your favorite projects, Ethereum, Hedron, Hex, Matic, if you like that stuff, just stuff that you end up liking. Probably not Solana, unless it gets dirt cheap, right? But unless you like a scratch or bet and stuff, maybe the Polkadot ecosystem, maybe Cosmo, whatever floats your boat. Some stuff in GameFi, Illuvium and stuff. Illuvium is at $39 right now, bros? Like I did a DCA at $39. Just FYI, I made a nice little DCA at $39. Sorry, $39, and it's gonna be the first of many and stuff like that. So yeah. Let's see. Media Marvel with the $5 super. Hey Miguel, keep up the great content. Hey, for sure. Thank you so much, man. What are your thoughts about ICOs like Fight Out and Dash to Trade? I usually stay away from those kind of things. Now, they're like ICOs and stuff like that. I typically say like I have to like the project in the first place and stuff, and there's a lot of like kind of things I have to like. I do my research before I kind of get into any of those things. Plus, if it is sort of Ponzi-nomics with it and stuff like that, I mean, we're in kind of a market right now where like the pump might be kind of like not very great because of the market conditions we're in, as well as if these things kind of come out within the relative time before the all-time low and stuff like that, they could do pretty terribly because they can come out and then crypto shits the bed, then they shit the bed and they might not recover, or the recovery will take a massive amount of time. And then you gotta then question your motive. Am I in this because I believe in this project for the long term, or am I in this for a quick flip of money? And then most people, if they look out to the stars and they just kind of take a long walk and sort of think like, what am I really doing here? And they're gonna be like, oh yeah, fuck, I'm just in this for a quick flip. Then like, fuck that shit, dude. You can get 2-3x's out of a lot of other things than gambling with that stuff. But if it's a small portion of your portfolio and you want to throw a couple chips, hey man, just do you, man. But just also be careful because there's like a lot of ICOs. A lot of ICOs are illegal, so just be careful. Crypto Bigfoot, something very nostalgic about the setup. Yeah, I mean, I feel more ranty. I feel it's a little more ranty and stuff. It's kind of cool, man. Like I'm able to put up the comments up here and stuff like that, and just it feels a lot more kind of. I'm a little closer to you guys. It's like. But interesting, man. Okay, Pulse 777, man. Shout out to you, man. MVP with the questions here. What are your thoughts on Gala Games? Is this one also on the ETH, or would you get double when Pulse your launches? I really don't. Oh, okay, I got it. Yeah. So yeah, if you buy Gala Games, it's an RC20 token. Yeah, you will receive a copy of it. In terms of it's going to do really well on Pulse Chain, no, I don't believe so, man. I think it's just like it's one of those copies. I think that's going to be kind of worthless for the most part. Maybe if there's a yield farm for it, possibly, and then you have enough of it, like it might be able to earn you a little money, but you might be like the 1 or 2, 3 people who are like niche mining it, maybe when on PulseX. But no, in terms of you just buying it because you might think it might have a place sometime in the future, I think right now, let me look at if it's down at a penny. I mean, like penny or sub penny is where Gala looks interesting to me, right? Obviously, it's all-time high with like 81 cents. Right now, it's about 1.7 cents, so it's literally about a little cheaper than Hex right now. And the only thing is like right now it's consistently printing more and more supply. It has a much higher Hex has a 3.69% inflation rate, and last time I looked, I think Gala had something like I think it was like what 14% inflation rate right now with the way its nodes work and stuff with its miners. It's basically got some kind of master node sort of system where like you control this one mining thing and it just keeps producing Gala for you right now. So it is inflationary right now. So at one point, I mean, you could start like, hey, you're starting. It was at 81 cents. It's kind of almost retraced when me and Charlie first looked at Gala games. We first saw it at roughly about half a cent, right? And it went to 81 cents, but that was off of like holy fuck, the whole metaverse hype, which I think will come. That's not going to disappear, right? And they are building things, and they are attached to Zynga games and stuff like that. And they do at least have access to probably B to C tier talent in the regular gaming verse, which is better than crypto right now. I mean, for most of crypto gaming, because most of crypto gaming right now is playing off of, I would say, kind of like D tier and C tier kind of developers and stuff like that. So if we're looking at this right, they have access to one cut above the average of like people who can make games and stuff like that. And Zynga was $1 billion corporation, even though it was off the back of having come out with a monopoly on gaming originally on Facebook with like Mafia Wars and then what's called Farmville and stuff like that. They had a competitive edge because it controlled all the 40-year-olds. Not Candy Crush. Not Candy Crush. Shit's got all the 40-year-olds now. 40-year-old Karens and moms and shit. But pretty funny, man. But Crypto Boogie, man. I want an El Presidente, man. Hey, they're not completely out of the realm. I mean, I think you could probably pick one up eventually. I think you could probably look. The beautiful thing is, the higher the interest rates go, the fucking just like the fucking real estate market's getting their ass clapped, and the stock market's getting their ass clapped, and crypto got fucking just thrown off a cliff. The Rolex market's also doing terrible as well. Not as I mean, actually, it's holding up a little better. Now, on the top end, right? If you're buying it aftermarket, horrible, right? But in terms of you're buying it from like an actual deal, if you're actually buying it from like a reputable source, you're buying it from the actual store itself and stuff, like they haven't depreciated that much. I mean, if you're able to buy your stuff, that's why I said if you are going to buy one, I would always recommend you buy from an official Rolex dealer. That way you get all the paperwork, it's fucking legitimized. I mean, you can go like, no, I bought it from the fucking Rolex store, right? And you're going to get a decent price for it and stuff like that. You like most of the time, because there still is a premium on these watches, you are going to be able to, you could resell it back for instant profit, which is nice. And that kind of like having that little border there kind of helps you retain the value. At the worst case, you buy a watch and then you'll be able to sell it for 80% of its value, because you want to like trade it for another watch, which is perfectly okay, because that's fine, right? But most other watches, their resale value is pretty shit, right? Like now, don't ask me how I know this, but right. But for women, right, like a lot of women buy like stupid shit like purses, right? Just is what it is, right? I mean, they'll say this is stupid. Anyway, well, it just is what it is, right? But like people buy watches to impress guys, right? Guys buy watches for guys, and then fucking girls buy purses for girls. It's so fucking true, because guys don't give a single fuck about a purse. I don't like I don't give a fuck about a Louis Vuitton purse or a fucking YSL Young Slut Life purse. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about a fucking a Birkin. Like man, as a matter of fact, I'd probably stay clear of a girl with a Birkin, man. I was like, man, fuck all that noise, right? But these things, because more people know about like Louis Vuitton, right? They have a better resale value. It's just a fact, right? So like watch this, like because like right now Balenciaga is going through all this bullshit that's going on in the market right now, because like fuck Balenciaga anyway, right? But for all that stuff, but all their stuff, like people are trying to like liquidate all their stuff right now. So you can go on Let Go. There's an app called Let Go and stuff. People are like selling their Balenciaga stuff for like fucking 60 or 7% off on there. Brand new stuff, just because they're trying to get rid of it because it's not in fashion anymore, because everyone's hating on Balenciaga right now, right? Like, so there's a huge discount there if you like that stuff. Or like like you can pretty much get close to about parity to even make money on some of the stuff because sometimes it discontinue certain things like you could it's crazy. I don't even know where any of this crap, but basically because Louis Vuitton is like the main thing right now. All these dumbass chicks really like all this crap. Just like they would be able to say like all these dumbass guys like the watches and the welfare game. There, you got us on that. But they would be able to like you'll be able to keep relatively the same value to like make even you'll lose slightly money or even make money depending on how rare the item is on the Louis Vuitton purse, much more than like the amount of pieces you'll be able to like as a girl you'll be able to purchase and resell for equal to more value is significantly higher on something like Louis Vuitton versus if they did like YSL or they did like Balenciaga or Christian Louis Vuitton or I mean I'm sorry not Christian Louis Vuitton if they did some other fucking brand basically outside of Birkin or something, right? And it just kind of is what it is. So it's like because more people know what that is and more people want it, there's just more of a marketplace, so there's more demand. So it's supply and demand there. Same thing for a Rolex. It's a status symbol for a lot of guys. So this is kind of like this is why like Bitcoin and Ethereum when things get really cheap and stuff, people are like I know Bitcoin tonight. More people know Bitcoin and Ethereum. So when prices get really low, more people are willing to take a shot. And this is why like they kind of lead the market, and that's why they have so much billions and billions of dollars behind them and stuff like that. Because of name brand, it's important. But yeah, it's all about popularity, definitely. So let me go back up to the comments real second. Woo, we got a lot of comments, you guys. Hit the like button, man. Damn. Spidey, this is a good question, man. Is that a squirrel? There's a squirrel. DCC, do you know which coins will still have active elements in this season? Do you know where we could check active dev works on these? GitLab, GitHub, and stuff you can see sort of work on there. But I mean, for me, the most important thing is like, well, sure, the devs are still working, but like seeing the website, there's very like very like surface level stuff. One of the main things that I look for is that there's community calls. So you look at this is where you have to do it you have to do some research for yourself, right? Look at your coin, go to YouTube, search up your project. Now, something like Hex is a little different and stuff like that, but obviously I think they are working and stuff's going down. So I wouldn't worry too much about Hex and stuff or some of the coins there. But in terms of other projects on Ethereum or maybe like Aave or something like that, or I mean, no, forgive me, not Aave, but on what's called Avalanche and things like that, or on Phantom and stuff. I would just look on a YouTube channel, like you look on YouTube or go on their Discord, just see how active it. You're looking for activity. You want to see somewhat active Telegram chat. If they don't really fuck with Telegram, go look at the Discord. Go look are they posting like the YouTube? Like normally these projects have like a private. It's always Discord, and I hate Discord, but like it's a fucking Discord trash ass platform. But let's just say they're on Discord, right? And they usually do something called a community call. And most projects in GameFi, like fucking Discord. I hate Discord. But anyway, that's besides the point. So they usually do like a little thing. You join their Discord and stuff like that. And they'll like once a week or once a month they'll do a community call. It's probably one of the best places to get some alpha and stuff like that. And then as well as like how many people are there. If it's just dwindling and it's quiet and it's boring, they're not doing much, or kind of like it's just kind of redundant. You kind of know there from there. But regardless or not, woo, fuck, give me 1 second, man. Oh my god, sheesh, that was a bad sneeze. My bad, guys. All right, let me get back to that question. Okay. So once you see these community calls, I mean, at the very least, you want to see that they're still doing community calls at all. They're still doing something with community, right? If you just see that there's nothing's happening, then that's not good. That's not good. You want a lot of projects are going to die off, but you want to look at stuff that are even if they're broke, they're still punching. They're in the water, just trying to make it, and that's what you have to look for, right? I give a lot of points, especially if they post this on YouTube. I think that's very smart. I'm surprised a lot of projects. Every project should be doing this. Even if it gets like 30 views, it's still fucking important. And this is how you get discovered. If like they should be posting the community calls, recorded, unedited, in on YouTube and stuff like that. If they do that, then it can get some traction and stuff because then you have to put that stuff out there. But it is if you see people when I see people doing that and I see like how active and I see that people really fuck with it and stuff. That shows me that it's going to stay alive. I see them updating their website or adding, like we just added this new. I was seeing adding features. That just shows me that they're trying to just keep the ball moving, and that's pretty powerful. You know. Da-da-da. Scott Lawrence. Let's see. DC into Hex or save dry powder for Pulse. Probably do half and half. Just I mean, you always have to say dry. We're in the point we still have to say dry powder just because I do believe we're still going to have another bad drop, not just in Hex, but just the overall market. But this is DCA season, right? So I mean, if you're DCAing, let's just say $1,000 a month, half of that should go into cryptos you like, the other half into dollars, USDC. So when you see that opportunity, you can strike. Are you bullish on Hex and Hedron on ETHW? And fuck no. They might ETHW might pump, the ETHW stuff might pump or something, but you need Hex to be pumping. ETH Fair, I never even touched it. Get the fuck out. No. Zero. F in the chat, you guys. F in the chat. F. I mean, literally, I gotta give it this. Shout out to my Suicide Squad. Fucking Ethereum Fair, bros. Like, no, you guys. That shit is dead, man. I'm sorry, man, but ETHW might be maybe there's a little bit there and stuff, but you need the whole. If everything's taking a shit, if everything's in free fall, right? Everyone's like like falling down. The fuck, like none of these, they're not gonna do shit, you guys. I'm sorry. There's not enough community. Like, yeah, I was onboarded into crypto because of Ethereum Fair. Like, what are we talking about here, man? Yeah, man. My brother, he really made a lot in Ethereum proof of work and stuff, and here I am and stuff. I'm an Ethereum proof of work miner. I'm getting up, bros. Come on, let's get. These are fucking miner chains that the miners just put up there so they could fucking just do something with their leftover fucking like Ethereum mining equipment. They're basically Ethereum Classic. But I will say that they are more useful than Ethereum Classic just because they copy the system state with more stuff on it. So at the very least, their system state is a lot more impressive than Ethereum Classic, which is sad to say actually, because I do like a lot of the Ethereum Classic guys, they get kind of a bad rap, but they really try to stay true to Ethereum. Like Ethereum Classic is the real Ethereum, but they went with the people when the stock ticker went and stuff like that. So it just is what it is. And people say like, "Oh, isn't that what like Pulse Chain is? They're just copying the system thing." Yeah, but it's coming from a community who gives a fuck about it. At the end of the day, right. Let me hit you with something. L7 loser, right? If we're looking at the box, right? The box. What are the two most important points of the box? Who is your leader and team? Community, right? And who's a community for Ethereum work and Ethereum Fair? Fucking nobody. Miners? That's not a community. That's not enough people. Who's their founder? I'll wait. Who's the founder of these communities? Someone in the chat, please. I keyed all those bad coins away. Now, if it was pumping and it had a bit of a chart and stuff, and it was kind of like doing some, but right now because Hex is in the shitter, and the main use case, you want to know something crazy? The main use case of Ethereum proof of work and Ethereum Fair was Hex, homies. The Hex community. That's it. There's nobody else. You could have looked it up when this shit when it was pumping and stuff. The only people using it was the Hex communities. That's it, man. Like, and like, I'm not trying to shit on anybody. Like, if the Hex Tangent was the founder, no, I'm not shitting on that guy or nothing like that. No, like, I don't even know if he did, bro. I don't even know if he created it. That's bad, bro. I'm in the Hex community. I'm Hex Jesus. And if he did make it, I didn't even know. That's how bad of a job. Like, I mean, bro, like, I'm sorry, bro, but like, that's bad. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't even, if he did make it, hello, I didn't know. That's bad. How the fuck? Like, yo, I'm Hex Jesus. And I don't know who made fucking, if let's just say this tension guy did make it. Fuck if I knew. I didn't know that. This guy's like, oh my god, you guys are clowns, bro. Oh my god, man. Jesus Christ, man.
Didn't have to cut me off. Now we were nothing. I don't even need your love, but you treat me like a stranger, and I feel so low. Change your number. I said I need that goal. Now you're just a body that I used to know. Now you're just a body that I used to know. Now you're just a body that I used to know.
Low. SLV, man. I would love to know why you named yourself that. It fucks me up every time I see your every time I see your name in the chat, bro. I want to say ILV and you put SL. It fucks me up, bro. But DCC, we need some we need some pulse to be able to swap before the bridge opens. You will have some because you will get if you have some Ethereum, you will have even if you have like half an Ethereum, you get half of a pulse chain, and that should be enough to do a transaction. So it shouldn't be much of a problem. All you would have to do is just swap a little bit of some other coins to get pulse chain, and you get a little extra, and then from there you shouldn't have a problem. Like one pulse chain should be enough to do a transaction on the network and stuff, especially in the beginning. No, no way, not now. Looks for danger with the $2 super chat. Thank you, DCC. Hey, of course, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Shout out to you guys. And Happy New Year's, you guys. That's right, Florin. Happy New Year's. Happy Kwanzaa. Let's see. King's Meadow. Limit order set for 1.75. Yeah, those are good prices. Those are decent. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, not bad. DCC going hard with the San Pellegrinos. That's right, man. And today's show is brought to you by San Pellegrino. That's funny as hell, man. Yeah, shout out to you, Crypto Chino, baby. Sheesh. Yeah, it looks like a power couple in that thing. That's what I like to see, man. I don't know. A lot of people in the red pill are afraid of that's like the, there's nothing wrong with having a significant other. That's all I'm saying. But at the same time, also don't mix them into your business and do all of that. That's where it just gets, unless craziness. Black label expat, though there's always is exceptions to the rule, of course, right? But do you ever plan to make a double stream on Rumble? Yeah, at some point. Yeah, I did say I was going to try to do it, but I wanted to get it implemented into the other studio once we're back open, I think in a couple days. So yeah, we'll work on it and stuff like that. It has been the one thing is the reason I haven't I've really been thinking about it is just because there is a lot of really terrible trolls because it's truly uncensored, right? But there's a lot of people that have that are people who aren't on Fresh and Fit's level and stuff like that have been having some problems with the thing of joining up with there because then it's kind of plagued their YouTube channel with some problems as well. So there's been a bit of a back and forth there in terms of whether to do it or not. But definitely, man. The Herc with the 79 Czar. Thank you, man. What's up, DCC? When are you getting the Huracan? I'm probably not going to get the Huracan, dude. I'm probably more than likely looking at getting either the Urus or Maybe an Aston Martin. I've just seen. I know somebody who has an Aston Martin and stuff like that, and I've seen them in person and stuff, and they're fucking tight cars. So I'd probably get an Aston or a Urus and stuff. They're just more practical. Plus, I mean, a lot of Huracans is kind of hard for big guys. So, yeah, tough. Eric Richardson, man, with the $10 super chat. Happy New Year's, my guy, man. Happy New Year's, man, to you guys. Have you seen what Bob Lucas has been tweeting about on BTC, possibly just ranging for the next few years until 2027 and metals being a risk on? He's always has an interesting. Yeah, it is an interesting perspective. I haven't seen him tweet that, but I have. It's something me and Charlie have talked about, and like we kind of war room a little bit, or just like have like a war games of like what if this and that, right? And something we've talked about, what happens if, because there's no like crypt, like this is a real warning, right? This is a real thing right here, right? That crypto was born during a time when central banks were easing and they were printing money like crazy, right? And it's pretty much just dated since 2009 till now, right? So what happens if the banks keep the rates high? This is, I mean, like historically normal rates, right? And keep them at this level, and then they are. But it's sort of this weird thing where like we kind of almost have like a stagnation sort of thing where like the rates are probably going to stay between 4 to 6%, somewhere in that range. More than likely 4%. Like I wouldn't be surprised they drop it to 4. To flat 4. Let's just say they raise the rates again and they may drop it to like 3.5 or something. But the real rates, like when you go to the bank, might be like 4.1, 4.5% when you try to take money out the bank with good credit, right? But more than likely, because how things systematically, how fucked up things are going to be, they're going to print money. Now, this is why I think Bob Lucas might be wrong, because I believe that there's going to be more money printing. There's going to be more money printing, and right now, because of demographics, now this has more to do with probably more of the international market than I would say here in the States, because our demographics are a lot better than the demographics of say somewhere in especially China. Oh my God, China's oof F in the chat for China. China's demographics. Oh my God, Japan's demographics. Oof. But Japan's got like a head start on everybody, and they head towards automation. So I think Japan's fine, and they've kind of linked themselves up pretty well with the United States as trading partners. But there's a lot of other like European nations and stuff, and their demographics outside of like Africa are just horrible. And basically, if you're a company right now, you basically want to get your hand on much capital as you can at these rates before they get worser, and pretty much hire as many motherfucking people as you can, because your competition will probably not be able to get. So it's kind of a race to the bottom, or kind of a race to acquire as many of these employees as an international company and lock them in now, because the next generation, the Xers, as well as like some of the millennials, right? There's not enough of them in some of these other countries to kind of fill the spots. So if you're a corporation, you kind of want to get your people right now and lock them in, because that'll be quite a competitive edge for you. Now, the United States doesn't have that problem, because unlike, we haven't, the millennial generation, I think, is like 5 or 8% bigger than the boomers. So even though it's not perfect, like normally a generation is somewhere between 40 to 50% larger, at least, than the previous generation. So we're pretty much matching 1 for 1, as well as we still have the Xers who are now, like, as these boomers are getting out of these jobs, the Xers are starting to graduate into actually running all the corporations now. And so we have the Xers as well as the millennials kind of getting rid of, like, over time, getting rid of all the boomers inside of these jobs and stuff. So this is kind of what is kind of happening over these next couple of years and stuff. The millennials don't really truly take over the entire market, I think, until 2028 or 2029. Look at that. 2029. Interesting, right? Roaring 20s. Interesting, right? But the millennials will start hitting this kind of economic peak there, or the beginning of the peak, and then have like pretty much a 10 to 15 year cycle where they're where millennial capital will kind of really like help out the entire U.S. market and stuff. So we kind of have like a 10 year, Well, I would even really put it more like a 5. We have kind of a 5-year sort of point in time where we're kind of in the shitter, which is kind of like maybe this is probably what Bob Lucas is probably thinking about right now. Maybe he's looking slightly into demographics here, where it's just going to be tough for a while. But the thing is like, we also have the largest generation here, but the crypto market is a worldwide market as well. And the rest of the market is just going to have trouble getting capital just because most of the developed countries on the planet are going through this kind of basically this shrinking of population in their countries because of demographics, because the other generations are smaller. I mean, like, if as an example, right, let's just say the boomer generation in somewhere like, let me pull one out of my ass here. Let's just say Italy as an example, right? Let's just say there's 100 boomers. There's probably like 50 millennials or 40 millennials for every 100 boomers. So there's just such a huge amount of just distance there, and as well as like the way the whole economic system works is it runs on a Ponzi. So because the United States won World War II, everyone worldwide pretty much copied the economic system of the United States, and they copied our Ponzi. And this has kind of been a Ponzi that's happened around. Like, this is why I say everything's a Ponzi, right? And the biggest Ponzi of all is the population Ponzi, right? Which is out of everything, right? Of like, what's like the biggest thing you could do for your country, right? If I could wave my wand right now, right, all I'd have to do is, for the most part, if I could have one wish, right, that I could do on like to the world, right, I would say that like my country will have its birth rate will always be 3 or 4. So for every couple, they will have an average of 3 to 4 kids. Your economy is just going to do very well. Now there could be like, lack of resources or, but some horrible shit, of course, right? But on average, if your population, if the next generation is always bigger than the previous generation, then you always never have these problems where like you have underfunded like social security systems, underfunded, like it's like your economy just has this huge amount of fuel burning up, and it allows the current generation to borrow from the future because the future is larger. And by the future, they mean you guys. So there's this whole thing where like the tax cattle, where the previous generation, the old people, pretty much are borrowing from the current generation and the generation that hasn't been born yet. But if that generation's bigger, it works out because they'll be able to pay off all the debt and be able to just continue it on, and then they do it to the next generation. But when you have this kind of breaking of the wheel where the next generation is smaller, it fucks everything up. And this is why I believe there's going to be a lot of money printing. And when you have a lot of money printing, it doesn't get allocated fairly to everything. It ends up going mostly into assets. So eventually some of this money printing will bleed into assets. And if crypto is a part of the asset classes, and it's one of the most liquid asset classes, where basically you really need a lot, like if I were to like just buy, if $1 billion into crypto, it's not like the market cap of crypto goes up $1 billion. It would probably go up somewhere close to $5 to $10 billion off that $1 billion. It's almost like fractional reserve damn near, just because of how liquidity pool works, and then how unelastic sort of like the structure of crypto is. Because you take $1 billion, if I take $1 billion of Bitcoin off the market, that's a lot of, there's only 21 million. So then what happens is eventually the price will start ratcheting up because there's no liquid Bitcoin, and there's such a demand. This is why you had things like the kimchi premium back in the 2017 bull market, because you had so many people from Asia buying Bitcoin that Bitcoin was literally $3,000 to $4,000 higher, and this caused the Asia to lead the market up, because wherever the all-time highs here, it would drag up the rest of the Bitcoin markets up, and then this would end up having this kind of Hart's law sort of with like liquidity pools, where Bitcoin went up, then Ethereum went up, and because of Ethereum would go up, the rest of the altcoins would go up, and then people who were holding on to Bitcoin and Ethereum, their Ethereum value went up, and because they had more Bitcoin and Ethereum up, they were able to then take this Bitcoin and then speculate with it on altcoins. And because these altcoins were going up the next year down, then people really started speculating. So it just became this whole thing where it became this giant wealth effect off of these main two assets really going up, which are Bitcoin and Ethereum. And this is why we pay attention to them so much. Now, I don't believe that's true, but we're more than likely to see multiple dips during that time. Like, we're probably going to see a nice increase in this year, then a big dip, and then a rebalancing, and then a nice pump up in 24, and then we could take a shit down. I don't believe this, because if this is true, then we pretty much are looking at a lost decade, damn near. I mean, if we're just ranging, and by ranging he means like we're 33,000 to 40,000 for fucking until 2027, then what's going to end up happening is this is actually a big detriment to Bitcoin, and then we could actually see Ethereum possibly doing better, or we could then, when these incumbents aren't moving, This market is a bunch of degenerate gamblers, and they're looking for action. And then once these things are stable, once people are not afraid, like, oh, it's not going to dip anymore and stable, then what's going to happen is people need to speculate because you have inflation. We have a 20 to 23% yearly inflation rate right now. Money needs to be invested somewhere where we can make a return to protect ourselves from inflation. It's okay. We can take, like, people can take a year and a half, 2 years of just taking an L on that money, but it needs to make a multiple somewhere, right? So the higher inflation is, and the higher that the interest rate is, the money, like, it forces you, like, this is so because the because the rates went to zero, people were not able to earn like a safe yield, so they had, and then we had inflation because of the money printing. They were forced to go look for money because of the increased rates and stuff. We were kind of in a weird place where, like, the rates are going up, but the inflation's still not really under control. So people still have to look for yield to protect themselves from inflation, because we know that, like, oh yeah, we're at a 7.1% CPI or whatever, or 8. It's at best case we're at 15% inflation, and we know that's bullshit. 15% on average, but then depending on your lifestyle, some things have appreciated more than other things, and we're probably sitting at a 15 to 25%, depending on where your lifestyle is, inflation rate per year. That is quite significant. So now, in terms of me and Charlie sort of playing these kind of like sort of like war games, right, on all this stuff, right? The metals being risk on certain metals. Obviously, I really don't believe copper and all them unless, like, you end up having a war. You have major disruptions. Now, it would take unbelievable. So if you lower the supply so much that whatever demand there is just spikes up the price because the prices are so elastic, then yeah. But if let's just say China goes offline and its economy does very terribly, then they're the largest consumers of concrete, iron ore, copper. So some of the industrial metals are going to do terribly, but uranium or some of the stuff that have to do with like electric cars will do probably very well because we're heading towards that stuff like that. And the rare earth metals will do well decently. So it just depends on where you're going on. Maybe uranium is going to do pretty well as well, just because a lot of countries are going to start having problems with electricity. I mean, obviously, if you've seen what's happening in Germany, I don't know what fucking retards are running that country, but it seems to me that more than likely you had probably France secretly funding certain pacts within Germany, and you had certain Russian money influencing certain politicians to lean towards creating all their energy. Like, they're supposed to be some of the most rah like green people in the world, but all their energy comes from fucking coal, like, and natural gas from Russia. And it's this whole thing. You would think that country would go all nuclear, right? You know what I mean? Or something, you know what I mean? And they invested $1 trillion into fucking solar panels that don't fucking work. So I'll eventually end up doing a video at some point of like how I think that the Illuminati of Europe is fucking France, because I think these French motherfuckers are doing all this evil. The reason the EU and a lot of the countries are doing so, like, they play their cards very well, but they don't seem that strong. They're powerful, but not really. It's really the German. Like, I really think they propped up, I think France propped up the Germans and shit like that, and then also made it to a way where like they took them out as competitors. While the French still control all their colonies basically in Africa. If you look on a map like that when you look on the African map, that lump part right here where it's like from the Congo all the way up to, like, I would say Egypt in there, like that whole big chunk right there of Africa, they still take a lot of commodities and all kinds of things of natural resources from that part of Africa and stuff, and no one quietly, they say, so I'm saying it's just like, I don't know, man. I'm just talking out my ass here, but I mean, but the thing is there's so many people listening to Bob Lucas and I respectfully, I'm not saying anything bad about that, but yeah, I do respect Bob Lucas. Because a lot of people do listen to Bob Lucas and stuff like that, it does have an effect on some people, but it just seems kind of crazy to me because it's sort of this whole thing where we're kind of in this weird sort of like, now if we're in this whole point where no one's printing money and then the rates are going up, then he would probably be right. But the thing is like, these governments and these people have to print money because of these demographic shifts. You have to print money. right? So even if the Federal Reserves of these countries don't print money, there's other ways money can be printed. If people go to the bank and borrow money, and if these banks are forced because the governments, because the economy is so bad that they pass laws to make it easier to lend money and forcefully lend money because they have to, that's how you expand capital. People forget that one of the main ways where the money actually expands is through borrowing and lending. If there's if they like when you borrow to the bank, they don't actually have the physical cash. They just print it out like in zeros and stuff and allow you to spend it and stuff. So if they lend you $1 million, they just fucking printed $1 million out of their ass. They give you guys $1 million. So we'll have to see, but I don't believe that. Now, if that did happen, we have plans for it, but it would more than likely would be more invested into altcoins and certain more niche products and stuff like that. Maybe projects with a $10 million market cap or something like that, and then that can kind of grow to maybe like $300 million, and then just be plays like that more than likely. But we'd survive. We this is crypto. We'd have to survive. This is our industry. So if BTC and Ethereum aren't giving a shit, we'll go to where the money's at, and that's just is what it is. But if that's what's going to happen, then I would say products that speculate. I mean, that are heading towards into what'll end up happening is because if the amount of yield, if the natural amount of gains we can make from the market goes down significantly over that time, then I would say leverage is going to significantly increase in the market because people need to squeeze every dollar out of every move BTC and Ethereum do, right? So this is why it's very hard for me to believe that. I mean, I could see maybe a lessening of like the amount of like gargantuan pumps we have, but it just seems crazy to me by 2027 that we haven't hit a higher all-time high or something like that. I mean, by 2027, if we haven't at least hit $120,000, I'd be fucking shocked at that point. But we can definitely have a less of a dramatic pump in the BTC Ethereum market, but these smaller coins and these other ecosystems can still have significant gains. We still could get 10, 20, 30, 50x's out of some of these ecosystems for sure. It's just this whole game of paying attention. But yeah. Oh, what's going on? How the hell do I say your name? Mistral He? I know it's from Yu Yu Hakusho, but yeah. My oldest son is lazy. All he does is play games. I've heard that there's going to be some games where you can earn coins. Are there any of those out, or do you suggest I can fool him into farming from me? Yeah, you can look into fancy birds or fancy games and stuff like that. It's mostly kind of like flash easy games and stuff like you would have to buy birds, and then from there you could have him play these mini games in order to hit these quotas. You can earn that way. I would say a lot of this sort of games are really going to start coming out later this year. Illuvium's going to be a nice, decent one where you can have them play that one. You'd have to make somewhat of an investment, probably a couple grand. And from there, they would have enough gas and tokens and stuff where they would be able to jump into the play to earn places where it costs money to be in there. And then you could have them just catch a bunch of Pokemon and you could sell them and stuff. So Illuvium would be a big one, but a lot of these big ones are really going to come out in late 23 to early 24, but I think you'll be able to do fine. And then don't chat, I know it's really easy to chastise your son and like a lot of kids for playing games and stuff like that. But the thing is like, I wouldn't be where I am today without playing games. Like I know even like Richard Hart, who shits on playing StarCraft and playing these games. Like I bet, like honestly, like it probably made it like there is some game to it now. It where it gets to be a detriment is that you're into your late 30s and you're just like you're doing nothing productive with your life. You did nothing. Like that's where it's bad. But games are how humans learn. And I learned. I originally started with like these little MMORPG games on the N64. I played StarCraft 64. I played like Paper Mario, and I know that's like not these crazy things or nothing like that in terms of like strategy, but well, maybe StarCraft 64, but it was like, it was on console, so it wasn't shit. But then from there, I went on and played games like RuneScape and stuff on the computers and stuff at my local library, and then I was able to I learned how to buy and sell items or grind items. Now, grinding is not the best thing in the world, but it basically taught me how to buy and sell things, and some things were more valuable than other things on an open market. From there, I learned into World of Warcraft, and I was able to max out my character on wealth. and kind of figure out ways to not just manipulate the market, but like ways to like corner markets or just move quickly on an item that just came out in order to maximize profits, become a person who only one of the few people on a realm or something that can create this certain item, just ways to become like a big giant. Like there's a book called Small Little Giants, where it's a book about these companies that are like small, but they make a lot of outsized profits and stuff just by controlling these smaller niches. And some of these games actually do create like really good things that later on in life you remember these sort of patterns, and these patterns really can help you out later in life and stuff like, because it's a way, because when you're working you're kind of gamifying everything. Like a lot of people play these MMORPGs, people play Fire Emblem and stuff like that, and taking turns and doing this and leveling up characters, grinding people, Final Fantasy 7. I mean, these things seem ridiculous now, but a lot of the games that you play as a kid, you end up what ends up happening in this world is that we kind of manifest these things somewhat in the real world with economics, and it's happening right now. I mean, we're heading off into a kind of world where like it's kind of this generation of people who played StarCraft, Warhammer, World of Warcraft, RuneScape, that are kind of creating the whole cryptocurrency world and stuff like that. And now we're creating this entire world now where we're having video games like Shrapnel that might come out next year or this year or maybe late next year, of like these first person shooter games where like you might be getting so good at these video games that you shoot and kill these people, take their items, sell the skins on the open market, and you might actually be able to have a living off of that, or a living during a certain portion of it and stuff, and just keep it moving. But yeah, I mean, everyone's to you have to it's your son better than anyone, right? But you also should be like there's this whole thing where like there's this kind of thing that happens that I'm afraid of, like, as well. Like if when I have kids one day, that there's this whole thing where a lot of parents are like, oh my god, like, oh, these kids are in front of the tablets all day, which is scary, right? But you also got to imagine too, like when our parents were growing up, can you imagine like these kids were on the cell phones all the time, these guys were on MySpace, these guys, it's you've got to imagine like how scary it was for like technology moving so quickly that, like, imagine our parents went from like we would just go to the playground and maybe we have a telephone to now like they're on their fucking iPhone all day, and now these fucking toddlers are on their iPad. For me, like I grew up playing on playgrounds, and then I was old enough to see the cell phone come out, and I was old enough to see the internet really burgeoning, and now I'm in the cryptocurrency market as a semi-adult and stuff like that. Cryptocurrency, the market, Bitcoin got created when I was 18 years old. I didn't get into it until I think it was like 26 or so years old, and now it's like we're young enough to enter this entire market, and it's just the sort of thing where like it's kind of a thing where like you like. There's this whole thing where people wouldn't let their kids get on Facebook and MySpace and all these things because, like, oh no, like that's stupid and everything like that. Same thing when your parents wouldn't let you watch TV all day, which maybe they're right a little bit on some of that stuff. But at the same time, you also, if you don't allow your children to do some of these things, you also socially retard them as well, and don't let them catch on to certain things of what's cool and what's not cool. And you could hurt them in terms of like social standing and stuff like that, which you say I don't give a fuck about, which is fine, but some of these things have been able to help me make a lot of money because I'm able to like catch some of these trends and stuff. But it's to every parent, basically. All right, Bob Laguy, what's up, man? Sir, Texan token thoughts. Lol. Funny. I really don't have. I haven't really looked too much into it personally. I've heard some good things about it. I can't. I wish I had more information. You did a 555 Quattro Cinco super chat here. I just haven't bought it. I haven't looked into it. I haven't felt like a need to do it. But I've got nothing bad to say about the project or stuff. I know some Hexicans and some people are into that project. I'd have to look more into it. But if I were just to look at it from the outside, Texas token, I mean, it's pretty uninclusive because it's just a token for the Texans and stuff when like this market's kind of worldwide. And I mean, but I'd have to see what it's about, basically, But thank you so much for the 555, man. Shout out to you, man. If you have another question, man, just put it in the chat, man. I'll answer it. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Let's keep going down. All right. Oh, that's so funny. DD Mo for more bucks, $5 super chat. Thoughts on GMX and GPL? GMX has been performing well compared to everything else in this bear market. GL is just making good yields. Yeah. So with in terms of GMX, it's just because it's basically because it's a token that's linked to what it actually does, right? It promises you what like 30% of profits it generates to stakeholders, and then 70% of that goes to LP providers in GMX, right? Now, the better the platform does, the more of the yield that it can generate you and stuff off of the market demand. So it's actually kind of a business token, as well as like people want a place to on-chain yield and borrow money and stuff. This is why like stuff like Famous is. I think we'll do pretty decent and stuff, and on Famous, Fiat, and all these other projects. So I think we'll do okay in on the Pulse chain ecosystem because they provide a service, and these are kind of in terms of like something that I teach in the courses. That's I call it the L. I call it the L1, like kind of like the box, right? Well, there's kind of like these kind of 4 points in being an L1, which is like how do I want to say this? It's the L1 starter pack, right? You need a gas token, which is your Pulse chain. You need a borrowing and lending place, which is an Aave, right? You need an on-chain DEX, and you need an NFT platform place to buy and sell NFTs. This is kind of the 4 things you need. Now on the whole Aave thing, right? What that pretty much means is a place to people to borrow and borrow on coins, right? But that's basically leverage in a way. So you put a GMX as kind of a stacked version of an Aave on top of itself, and since you have like something like a Famous or a GMX and all these things, so yeah, that kind of makes sense. Um, a a bar, a place to trade NFTs, even if people don't agree with it, people want to do it, so you have to have a marketplace for it. You need a place for people to exchange tokens like a Uniswap or a PulseX or something like that. That makes sense. And you need the main gas token, which is going to which is what which is the main L1 token. So these are kind of the 4 minimums that you need, like just to start. Like when you start a town, right? You need a church and a bar, right? And some places to sleep and stuff. There's kind of like these minimums for like certain ecosystems. So this is just GMX is just kind of hit in a vein of extra. People want a casino, and it's an extra place for people to gamble, but it's at least fair where like you can own a piece of the house. So it kind of makes sense. So I gotta like it. As for GLP, I haven't actually seen what GLP is. The price of GLP. What's it done so far? Yeah, I guess yield. Yeah, and the GLP and stuff, and the yield seems to it's just good yield and stuff like that. It's just I would probably go with GMX personally, just because I like to own the casino. But I think I like the token and stuff. It's performing pretty well, and because like one of the reasons why it's also performed pretty well, and it's probably going to continue to do okay, is because of I would say the market got shook up pretty bad because of Luna, and it's kind of called, and all the rugging that's happened onto centralized entities has called into question like not your keys, not your coins and stuff like that. So people so what's going on right now is that people want to just do a lot more on-chain sort of things and kind of hold their own custody of their tokens. And that's kind of what's going on right now. So things like Aave and Uniswap and some of these old V1 incumbents on Ethereum are probably going to start doing pretty well this next cycle and stuff, especially if people want to do more on-chain things. And some of these platforms might do better on like L2s or stuff, or on other L1s, just because on Ethereum they still haven't fixed the gas issue, which is kind of a big boon for Pulse chain and everything like that. So thank you so much. Dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun. Any more super chats I missed? Because I must have missed a lot. Let's keep going down. Jesus, man. Shout out to you guys. Boom, boom, boom. Shop. Boom. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Jesus, I gotta love DCC. Not only does he help you with crypto, he also helps you raise your kid. You're a guy with a heart on his sleeve. No, thank you, man. No, yeah, it's a tough one because I've thought about that too. Like, where's the line for me on the technology stuff? Because it's like I want to make sure my kids they're in tune. They know what's cool. They know what's up, because we're heading towards a space now where like like having some kids that are pretty in the know might actually make you a lot of money because because the way we're heading, technology is just getting where the technology is just getting us more interconnected. And I can imagine over the next 20 years that like it's just like your son might know something pretty cool and then he's put money down on it and make a fortune for the family and stuff. Like there's just so it's there's a lot of that there, as well as like, I mean, outside of that, I mean, there's probably tech jobs and all that stuff, but like that'd just be regular education. But there's this also this whole thing too, where like also you don't want them to become like losers and stuff like that. But at the same time, too, you also have a daughter, you got to protect them, and so you got to do it. It's such a mind. It's being a parent's not easy, but at the same time, it's like you are the product of just thousands and thousands of ancestors who've like just reproduced over time and stuff like that. You're the first place. You're the tip of the spear. So you gotta keep it going. That's right. Phobia of FX. We're back to a regular scheming schedule, man. I've been waiting since last year. Yeah, I should. My next stream will be on Thursday, you guys. Just FYI, I'll lock down the time, but it should be somewhere between 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, kind of the same time we started here or an hour before. But I'll have that time slot. I'll make an announcement on Twitter for you guys. But my next stream will be on Thursday. Hopefully, back in the studio. And for any of you guys, man, if you guys want to, like, we do a lot of private calls here and stuff, and we do a lot of cool stuff for the guys inside the Citadel. I want to show you guys something. So let me see. Yeah, man, like join up to the Citadel, man. Like this is one of the coolest fucking groups in all of crypto right here. It's $100 a month, and basically it is a giant chat platform and stuff like that. We're creating all these special events for the guys in the Citadel. We have almost 380 people inside of the Citadel currently right now and growing. Currently, we have a Fight Club event. I can't speak about it right now, but we have something very special going on inside the Citadel that is available to them, as well as people who take in the latest crypto mindset course. We will not be doing another crypto mindset course until sometime to March or April. So definitely sign up to the Citadel, you guys. There's some super cool shit going down right now to join up. But when you join the Citadel, every month that you're in the Citadel, you get $50 off the next crypto mindset course as well. So as a thank you, and the people inside the Citadel will be the first to get access to the crypto mindset meetup. We're going to do this giant cool party for everybody. It's pretty tight. The last one we did, we had well over. I think we almost had 200 people in the last one. But we had a really large amount of people there, and it was here in Vegas. We had a 3-story mansion party. It was a huge meetup. It went off to like a whole weekend of debauchery and stuff like that, champagne popping, and all kinds of other stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. 3-story mansion party. We had bartenders on every story and stuff like that. We had DJs. We had trapeze artists doing stuff in the air and stuff. I mean, mermaids in the pool. I mean, everything you could imagine and stuff like that. It was a really cool event. Everyone got to meet in person and stuff like that. And we're planning to do another one. Yeah, Jeremy was there. Yeah, it was crazy. It was really cool and stuff like that. And then we also had like poker tables, craps tables. I mean, we had Texas Hold'em table. We were doing all kinds of cool stuff for the event and stuff. So definitely join up to the Citadel, man. We're going to be launching all kinds of cool stuff in there, as well as it's one of the best places to keep intact for people who missed on the latest crypto mindset course. Join up to the Citadel, and you'll be able to kind of keep a pulse of what's going on, no pun intended, as well as when Pulse Chain does launch. We're going to be doing all these cool we call flash webinars, and there's these special events to make sure that you guys are all keeping in the loop of what's going on with Pulse Chain and all these other things and other ecosystems and other kind of GameFi things that we're kind of looking at, because this whole cycle, there's going to be a lot of GameFi in this cycle, and I really truly believe a lot of people aren't really giving a lot of credence to how important that is. But definitely, man, sign up to the Citadel. And back to your previous thing. So let's see. Wally Soros, man. Happy New Year's, DCC. Much love. Hey, glad to see you back too, man. Hit the like button, man. Sheesh. Secret Agent, man. I can confirm what you're saying. I was a manic with Fire Emblem. Yeah, dude, I love Fire Emblem, but I was playing that on the Game Boy Advance. The skills transferred right over to crypto. It takes willpower to play these games where crypto is a go-to addiction. Yeah. Like these things do give you an edge, and like there is some lessons to be learned, but it, like everything, like a drug, it just is overdone. Like there's certain games I play. Like there's a game I recommend to you guys that I love playing is Slay the Spire. Personally, I kind of treat it almost like a solo version of like playing chess. It's a very cool game. Like definitely look it up and stuff. Like it's called I'll see if I can find you guys a video of it or something like. Let me see. Uh, here's a great YouTuber on the game and stuff like that. It is a really cool game, and it's like every time you play it and stuff, it is a different like you have a different run every time. And I find it very therapeutic. It's one of my favorite games. It's a cool game, especially like for people that person that's very busy. It's a game you can sort of play and just put down and come back to it. Like if you just bust through, you can finish it up in 40 minutes to an hour and a half. But it's kind of a cool desktop and mobile game as well and stuff like that. I'd highly recommend it. Definitely check it out, you guys. Like it's a fun little cool game and stuff like that. And they're planning to do like expansions to it, but it's kind of an interesting like games like that. Like, I haven't found too many games like that where you can just set it and for like you can just play it a little bit and just stop playing and get back to work. And so it's a cool way to kind of take your minds off of stuff, and it helps out a lot. But yeah, man. SimCity taught me bookkeeping, EVE Online, ratio trading. Yeah, that's so true. Oh my god, yeah. I never played EVE Online, but I've just heard. I mean, that game was kind of daunting, honestly, to me. But man, yeah, focus on Splinterlands. Yeah, definitely. But let's get back to the questions, you guys. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Okay, Florin, is there a DeFi way to buy Phantom in with Ethereum? What do you think about Paraswap? Apparently, they can help you. Yeah, I mean, I personally, I'd rather use Matcha personally, but some people use the Milk or Moose Swap and stuff like that. Paraswap, it just all depends. As long as I mean, I've heard Paraswap safe. I like using Matcha personally, but you can buy RC20 token version of Phantom, and with that Phantom, you can then transfer that over to Phantom through Spooky Swap. So here I'll where is it? Okay. If you go to Spooky Swap there and you hit the bridge, if you swap Ethereum to Phantom on the like you can do it on Uniswap really, but if you use something like Matcha and stuff, you can get maybe a better rate if you're buying a larger amount. But you'll have an RC20 token version of Phantom, and then you can just port it over. There's plenty because the market's so in the shitter right now. You can very easily bridge over. It usually takes less than 15 minutes, but if your money doesn't show up right away, this happened to me a couple days ago. I sent over some money and it took like 20 minutes for it to show up, but it will show up. You can swap USDC or Phantom. I would recommend Phantom for the first time if you've never used that ecosystem. And then there you go. And you can do it vice versa. Once you're out, you can then sell that for Ethereum. So there's enough liquidity there. So there you go. Shit, I play WoW now. Really? Yeah, man. I only played like 4 or 5 days in the Cataclysm, and I just like I'm out. I was done. But I played all of Wrath of the Lich King, like super high level, like hero tier. We did everything in heroic. But what's going on with Grayscale? They're going bankrupt. It's a little in the air if they're going to go bankrupt or not, or something like that. But there's some news reports that are coming out that are not great. Looks like they may have like lent money from this thing over to this thing in order to give money to this thing. It's looking real Sam Bankman-Fried, but I don't know if it's that level. But it's not looking great. Okay, my son, he's a 22-year-old on the couch in day and distance high school grade. I've sent him to Chicago for a year to help him grow. He just yeah, definitely, man. I mean, getting into the gym is like something that really useful and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, 22, like, yeah, that's not that bad. I mean, I still was playing tons of video games and stuff like that. Well, the thing is, I mean, my video game, one of my heavy duty video game kind of stopped around like I would say 20, 21, but that's not that bad. If you're telling me 28, yeah, that's not great. But 22, there's still hope, you guys. HOAP, hope. But you're good. Like the thing is, right now, like you're a good dad and you're caring about your son right now. Like that's incredible, man. Like most fathers don't know you're not a father, and then at the same time you're caring, you're trying to motivate, and that says a lot about you and your character. and more than likely you probably raised a good person and a good son at that. It's just he more than likely what's going on is he's not finding something in his real life that's getting him traction. So he probably feels like a really high horsepower sort of car, but there's no tread, there's no like torque, he's trying stuff and it's not like going forward for him. And I totally can understand how he feels on that. Like we've all kind of going through it and stuff. So, but getting him either into crypto or something like this here, or like multiple sort of things, but just get like most people don't get it together until their late 20s or early 30s, man. So 22 is still a very young age, but just, never give up on your son. You got to keep trying. You can as a father, just like you have to hug, you have to be there for your daughter and hug her and stuff to keep, like, you have to hug the stripper heels off of them. You gotta be there for your sons to stop the stagnation and the fucking laziness. And I know that's not easy and stuff like, because I know my father was trying to do the same thing with him. The thing is like as a father, you only know what you know, right? So sometimes some fathers are trying to push their sons, and it's not the most helpful, right? Because maybe the world's changed or some sort of things, but like you have to try. So A for effort, man. You have to try, man. I mean, it just kind of is what it is, man. I mean, maybe he's on the couch just because like it's just things are not moving for him in academics, or maybe he's just in a job and stuff. He's not seeing the way out. He's not making the money and stuff. But like, you got to keep pushing him. Obviously, some jobs are for some people. Maybe being self-employed is another thing, but you just gotta never give up. Yeah. Let's see. I told my daughter to leave her hedron alone until stakes done, and she insists on minting every weekend. Oh my god, bro! That's like your daughter's like a financial mind. Oh, I love that. That's so cool. And this guy's telling me he's failing. So get out of here, bro. Like, you got your daughters and talking about minting hedron. To get that, bro. Jesus, man. Oh my god. Yeah, man. In the alluvium whales I can talk to, I want to OTC Ethereum WLV copy. Send me the copy now for Ethereum and USD. Yeah, I mean, you would have to just go into the alluvium. You'd have to go into the alluvium Discord and stuff. I do know some, but a lot of them probably don't give a fuck about it, really. So I don't know if this is an issue. I mean, the thing is, you could slowly sell it, possibly just very slowly over a week or so not to create too much slippage, and then sell it for Ethereum proof of work, and then you have to send it to an exchange. I think that would be the easiest way, because that way there's liquidity there. You could probably sell it on Kraken, your Ethereum proof of work, and then from there you'd have liquidity. But if it's this whole thing about like maybe you're not trying to create a tax, whatever you're trying to do on the whole tax side there, then yeah, you're gonna have to try to OTC it somehow. But you gotta be careful, man, because you send coins to a person and they just rug your ass. So you gotta be careful. But on the once the hex states are done, she insists on minting every weekend. It's more convenient. Like, it's just because gas fee wise. I mean, if it's cheap for her, let her do it. It's fine or whatever. That's okay, I guess. But the thing is if the real bonus to her basically is like she's doing it like it's just the gas fee money she's wasting. It's probably costing her $4 to $3, but it's just a sort of thing where like just tell her that like start doing the math for her, that you're spending this much per minting and stuff like that. And if you just run the math, I don't know how many stakes she has, but let's just say she has 10, she's maybe wasting $40, and she's actually maybe she's making like $60 or $100 of hedron or more, depending on what she has. But just show her like if she just did that once a month, then she'd end up with more money because she's saving Ethereum. And that's probably how I would tell her on the gas fee side, personally. But it just depends on the stakes she has. If she only has one, I mean, but regardless of now, just having her paying attention to it is pretty cool. So still a W. Yeah, she's making sense on the weekends, but just probably run the math with her because even if it's cheap on there, I mean, but she's probably having to do a lot of transactions no matter what. So she probably has 10 or 20, 30 stakes. So it just is, it just kind of is what it is, man. But this is like a wholesome stream right here talking about family stuff. This is pretty cool. She just turned 18 last year. She told her 10% of her check into Hex, enough to buy Ethereum for gas. She shows a nice little bag in the hundreds. Hey, there you go. There you go. That's nice. Yeah, just it's just that sort of thing. Just keep her stacking up coins, but also make sure she's also putting some money into Ethereum as well. And she's building a bag. I mean, Hex is cool, some Hedron is cool, but just having a building up a a 3 or 4 coin portfolio, especially if she's starting off, is pretty good. Having some Ethereum, maybe some Hex Hedron, and then another altcoin, maybe some sort of GameFi play or something like that. And I think that would be a decent portfolio starting off. But or she could just save a little capital when everything takes a shit. She can really buy something because, dude, 18-year-old getting into crypto right now, and you're legitimately working already, and you're putting money into, dude, what an opportunity. Being young, being like 25 and under in crypto right now, lucky, so lucky. Oh my god. But yeah. But let me go to, is there any more questions right here? I think I skipped quite a few. Let's keep going. Let's see. Also, no one talked about, but France still is national territory in South America. Yeah. There's a lot of there's a lot of stuff with France, man. I'm one eye open with France, man. Lilu, what's up, DC? Happy New Year, bro. Finally caught up with 1.5 warp speed. Oh, that's funny. French Foreign Legion HQ is up in North Africa. Yeah, not great. Yeah, George Gammon said invest in uranium. Yeah, he told us the same thing. I think when I met him in person, I actually want to say something. Like, I was actually going to jump onto the Rule Zero. Rolla did Rules. He invited me on Rule Zero. I just wasn't able to make it. I feel terrible because George Gammon was on there and stuff like that. It would have been cool to go on there. But when George Gammon was on Fresh and Fit, me and him were talking about that. We even talked about it on stream about uranium and lead and all this other stuff. There's a lot of these kind of metals that are going to do pretty well. But lead and uranium are probably going to start doing very well, especially as countries are going to start having problem powering themselves. People are like these greenies are just probably going to fall to the wayside because, man, when these little greenies can't turn on their fucking iPhones and can't turn on their computer anymore, they're going to be like, yeah, we probably need power, you guys, and they move over. But yeah. But hey, man, it's really great to see you guys, man. Let's see. Did you call the Hedron bottom yet, bro? I'm just back from lunch. Let's look at Hedron. Like, where is Hedron at right now? Let me look. Give me a segundo, sir. Let's take a look at Hedron. You didn't have to cut me off. Let's see. Where are we at? Yeah. We're at 11 right now. I don't know. But if I really want to think about this right now with Hedron and stuff like that, I mean, we're probably like, now if we get Hex shitting down to like a penny flat to like 90% of a penny, that's really more close. Like 56% of a penny is kind of like where I think the low, like absolute low for Hex is, but I don't think most people will be able to buy it. It's going to be a wick. As soon as it hits, it's going to fucking bounce up. More than likely, you'd probably be lucky to catch 80% to 90% of a penny on Hex. So I'm kind of off of that math there. We're kind of looking at probably a bottom on Hedron of about 6 to 7. So current, let me full screen this. I'm sorry. Let me, right now we're at 11, right? So, I mean, let me see if there's a way I can kind of magnify this a little bit here. But currently, yeah, we're at 11 right now on the Hedron price. It's all-time, I think it's all-time high, if I remember correctly. We were at like 74, 71. So, we're down quite a bit from its all-time high right now, but we're still not close to it. I mean, its all-time low was, I think, 4, if I remember right, or 5. I told people to start buying Hedron as it was coming from 6 to the basically that 6 to 4 ratio, which was amazing because you were able to buy a billion Hedron for $400 to $600. Fucking awesome. Right now, it costs about basically $1,100 for a billion Hedron. This is the sort of zone where like you can start a DCA. Like right now is a great place to start a DCA into Hedron. You know, I think having a billion Hedrons is just super obtainable for everybody. I think it will crack below 11 because it has to do with support. The people who buy Hedron are Hexagons. If Hex takes a shit, Hedron's gonna take a shit. It's just math, it's math. Shout out to Cream. But so we're probably looking at the all-time low being like 6 on this. So it's not. So it's if its all-time low is either 3 or 4, it's probably gonna do a 6 to 7 all-time low. So it's gonna get really close to retracing to its all-time low, but it will have a higher low than its all-time low, but just slightly better, 50% from its bottom, from its true last bottom. So yeah, man, it's gonna be kind of interesting. Let me see dailies. Let's see how big. Yeah, actually, my bad. I think it did. Yeah, it hit about 2 point. It actually hit 2. Actually, my bad. It hit 2 on that low right there. So it would make sense of tripling from there. So there's something I call the 3-4-5. I taught in the course and stuff, but I ain't gonna go into all that jazz right there. But like maybe at some point I will go into it. But it usually when you have these bottoms and stuff like that, you take its all-time low and then triple it up, and that's more than likely a good zone to kind of look at where it can go. So if it's just hit a 2, then we're probably looking at a 7 being its all-time low on Hedron, but it would take Hex going down to like that 90% of a penny zone. At that point, Hedron gets so cheap that it gets to this point where like it just gets so cheap that any motherfucker could start buying it up, and it just would stop dumping at that point because it's like a whale would be like, what am I retarded selling? Like it's like I'm selling chiclets, right? And that's kind of what I'm seeing here and stuff like that with it, math. That's right, math. But that's kind of what I'm seeing, what I'm kind of seeing here with Hedron and stuff like that. So yeah, I started telling people to buy Hedron around 6, and I just kept telling the DCA all the way down to its all-time low. They're at 2. I don't know why in the charts that I saw back then, I saw it go down to like 3 and some change 4, but like I didn't see 2, but I wasn't paying attention that much. I was just blindly DCAing into it and stuff. But if its true bottom is 2, then we're probably looking at a 3 multiple there. So, and if it's 2.2, then somewhere between 6 to 7 being its all-time low, and right now it's 11. So it's pretty close. So we're looking at probably $700 at the all-time low buy as you billion Hedron. So pretty much as long as like if you can buy it, if you basically the math is right now, if you can buy a billion for under $1,000, you're fucking winning. You're winning.
Didn't have to cut me off. Now we was nothing. I don't even need your love. You treat me like a stranger and I feel so loved. So long. Had a great connection. Change your number. I said I don't need that goal. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
Sheesh. Definitely, man. Oh, what is going on? Funding Jim, my homie, man. When you coming back to Vegas, man? We got to do a stream again. Hey, DCC, September 23rd. Likely Federal Reserve pivot. Actually, that would be kind of crazy if it was that far away, September 20th. Personally, I would think the Fed pivot would be in March. By pivot, I mean it's just stopping. It's increasing rates, but anytime the Fed has finally like, hey, we're done increasing rates for now, we usually get a nice market crash. So more than likely, we're probably looking at if we're going off of that math there, we're probably looking at lows somewhere in April, and then pulse change somewhere around there as well. So that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. But if it was until September, then we'll probably get some action because like there's no way we can waste another year of the markets going down. Like crypto has already crashed so much. Like the average altcoins 89 to 91% down from all-time highs. Now we do know that you can do 80% down, then 80% down, then 80% down, then 80% down. But there's something I said in the courses, you guys, which was called we're too small to fail. Like there's too big to fail, there's too small to fail. There's at some point where like oh my god. There, there could be a oh my god, I crack myself up sometimes. But like there is this whole thing where like you're too small to fail where like you now this is mostly for coins that are like sub coins within the ecosystems where like their coins are like $15 million right now that could go to like 5 million. It's at that point, it's like it doesn't matter anymore. Like it's like so you can have some coins where like you could actually for the first time you may actually get ecosystem tokens bottoming before their L1 does, which is like insanity to me, just because some tokens will just get so cheap comparatively that it's just like anybody with some capital will be able to pretty much create a bottom on it. Like not normie, but like a big like a big dolphin or a shark or a small shark or something like that. It's just that sort of thing. But it's good to see you, Funny Jim, man. I can't wait to see you again, man. It's good, dude. Funny Jim's a great guy. Funny Jim paused for 2 meetings, crashed 60 days after Fed rate, and then start cut pivot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is kind of what we're seeing exactly right now. In terms of the cut pivots, we'll have to see. Maybe it could be this. I've been having this feeling they only cut it to like, let's just say they raise rates 2 more times, and they get us to like 5% Fed rate. Maybe 5.5%. Oh, that's pushing it though. But let's just say 5%. The most cut I could see in the pivot is just taking us back down to 4 or 3.75. That's it. Like they're not going to cut it back down to 0 anymore. But I mean, if they cut it back even like 100 basis points backwards, and then keep it there, and then start money printing, because there already been money print. Like now, the United States government hasn't been printing as of like last year really that much or anything like that, but you have seen the Bank of Japan is just going into full mode. Like they're printing basically their bond market's pretty much collapsed, and they're having to print money like crazy right now. I mean, I saw a report that literally, I think last night that they printed over $110 billion over the last weekend, trying to keep their bond market from fucking imploding. $110 billion, and in yen, that's trillions of yen. So it's kind of you're starting to see there's a lot of pressures like there's pressures here in the States, but there's significantly higher pressures for the rest of the world. So so if we do have 2 more rate hikes, this really puts even more pressure across the entire rest of the world, because the whole world functions on dollars. Effectively, we already have a one world currency right now. It's the dollar. Like it really is. Like I really didn't I really didn't believe this shit until like I was really in my late 20s. But I was like, what the fuck? Like, it's like one day like the whole world's gonna like the whole world runs on a one world currency. We've been having a one world currency. It's the dollar. No one trusts any other currency really. The euro's in full fucking steam drop mode right now. The pound took a pounding. Like basically the euro. I remember the euro being over $2. And they're almost at parallel right now. The pound's almost at $1 as well. Like every other currency in the world, they're just having to print so much coins right now. Coins, lol. They have to print so much of their fiat current. I'm telling you, man, coins, fiat, like all this shit's gonna be like all the vernacular is just gonna fuse together one day. Like all this stuff's the same. Like all these things these boomers are doing. We're just reinventing. We're taking the same stuff. We're taking the same stuff that existed, putting like millennial swang and twang into it, and we're just recreating the wheel a little bit here. But like it's still the same wheel, But yeah, it just kind of is what it is, man. But shout out to Funding Jim, man. Yeah, but we're kind of in the same thing. So I mean, I kind of like I'm leaning more towards as of the information we have right now, more towards the bottoms probably being somewhere in March to April, the worst of it there, and then from there we kind of pump it. We kind of start pumping in the summer, and then more than likely we're gonna get probably a dump down because of regulation FUD and some shit like that, and then probably recovery from there. And maybe if we do get the rate hikes, I mean we do get the red cuts from there, then we're kind of off to the races, I believe. But that's what I'm kind of seeing right now. But man, it's good to see you again, Jim, dude. All right. Would you ever buy Solana? I actually would. Now, do I believe Solana is a total shit show and a shit coin? Yes, I do. But people are stupid for it. I mean, like let's see, Sol. You know, I've been trying to start this whole joke. Like every time I do LOL, right? I do this. So lol 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 lol. Oh my god, Soul is such a clown show. So basically, we're looking at basically right now we're looking at a let me try to go. Let me go to the daily. Yeah, I mean right now we're looking at about $11.70 for the price of Solana right now, and more than likely, pretty terrible. This isn't the full chart here and stuff, but basically, if I'm a buyer of Solana like under $5. Like I'll take a scratcher bet on it. Like right now, like the whole market still has another fucking 40 to 50% drop in it, possibly in it. Now, if all these worst things don't happen and we just like the bottom's in right now and stuff like that, then it just and I'm willing to just not take a shot on Solana. I'm only willing to take a shot on Solana because there's so many other things I can buy that I can make money on that like Solana has to get cheap enough for me to want to like it has to get to the levels like $3, $4, $5, maybe $6. I will not I'm not buying Solana at $11. Fuck no, absolutely not. But if it's cheap enough, it just the main thing for it is just because there's some Facebook connections with it with Meta and stuff like that for its NFT platform, its NFT ecosystem, and then on top of that, it's pretty much the only American blockchain right now. So I do believe, and you had a lot of VCs from Silicon Valley make some big money on it. A lot of the guys from the All In podcast and stuff. These guys made a lot of money on it, and I wouldn't be surprised that like, and you know, you're also having a lot of the flush out of these FTX losers out of it right now. So right now, like what's going on right now is that they're having this massive diarrhea, shitting out all these FTX losers and these dumb projects and these fudsters and stuff. And over time, new projects will probably join Solana, and I think that it will survive. Enough people made big money on it; they're willing to just repothecate some cash into it to try to buy the bottom on this. And but it'd have to get cheap enough for me to do it. So it's right now currently until Solana gets under $10 before I start even like peeking into it. But I will not make a DCA until it's under $5. Do you think Phantom could take over Sol as we're playing? Yes. Oh, definitely. It's going to pass it up. I mean, if we look at a DeFi Llama right now, if we look at DeFi Llama right now, right? Right now, Phantom has now beat Solana. It's so currently right now there's about almost 400, almost 400, almost 420, almost 400 and let me take away this real quick. In terms of how much capital is locked up right now in Phantom right now, we have 418. Let's say 420 million dollars on Phantom currently, and if you look at its all-time high right at the peak, I won't count these little wicks here, but the peak here was probably 6.2 billion. If we look at Solana, right now, currently, there's $212 million on Solana. So literally, Phantom in a bear market, everything down bad. And let me tell you, there was more Ponzi's on Phantom than there was on Solana. If you believe it. Now, in the end, what were the true Ponzi's, right? At least you knew that the Ponzi's were Ponzi's on Phantom, right? But on, so I think that's knowing your end or knowing the devil you play with, right, or whatever. But there's $212 million locked up in U.S. value on Solana right now. That means if it takes another shit down, this is probably going to get down to $140 million locked up in value if it takes a 40% and then more people think it's dead and stuff like that. So that's, so it would have to double. I mean, the money would have to double up really quickly to catch up to Phantom and stuff like that. So Phantom has this shit it's got literally a 2x on it right now in terms of total TVL lock. Now TVL is kind of a loosey-goose sort of system. It is something you can sort of track a little bit, but just to give you some reference here, now I'm probably going to count like this is more steady Eddie, but let's just count somewhere right here. So at its peak, it probably had more conservatively, if you just kind of look from here to here at a decent rate, somewhere between 8-9 billion to about like $7 billion. So it had about $1 billion or $2 billion more than Phantom. But if you actually look at it, a lot of that shit was fake TVL, and then a lot of this news, like, and this, me and Charlie were saying this in the later courses and stuff. Why we like didn't really invest into the Solana ecosystem too much. There was a couple of we invested into Radium and can't remember the other one, SER. I don't even know what's in here. SMR isn't even in here anymore. Wow, it's not. Yeah, look at that. Saber, Lido's legitimate. Radium's still legitimate in terms of its dexes and shit like that. But a lot of a lot of these other ones like Saber, right? Saber, and there's Solend and shit. They were pretty much counting assets that weren't theirs as theirs and then reposticating that, and they were all doing this in order to boost up the TVL numbers up so that it can be competitive to Ethereum and stuff like that. Like, you should see the interviews on some of the bullshit that Solana was doing in the background. Total horse shit, you guys. But the way I would just kind of look at this right now, it's like it's going to come back. There is like I think Orca is kind of legitimate. So is Radium. I've never done Marmalade on Marmalade. Who the fuck names a Marmalade? Like, I would just name it Strawberry Finance or some shit, or like Strawberry Grape. But Lido's Lido. It does liquid staking. That's fine. But Saber indexes and stuff like Solend, I would never use Solend. Like, what a crock of shit. Like, let this shit die. Like, and look at that. There's only $17 million on it anyway. So like, they've lost a lot of things. So new projects are going to come out here. I wouldn't be surprised that an Aave or some other GMX or some other things come on here, just trying to like take up market space, and then as this thing maybe recovers or not, or it could die very well. But I'm willing to take a scratcher bet once it kind of comes back. Now, in terms of like, if we were to look at something like a Phantom, right? You have 2 times the TVL, and you have more legitimate projects. These projects, like, look, Spooky Swap, legitimate as fuck, no hacks. Now, some of the team behind it, the only negative against Spooky Swap is some of the people who run Spooky Swap are anonymous and stuff like that. Just the shitty thing about it. Though I do believe Andre and a couple other guys are running Spooky Swap in the background and stuff like that. So I do have a lot of faith in Spooky Swap personally. Beethoven X, another great protocol, no rugs on it and stuff. For still $40 million in TVL, still works perfectly fine. There's a lot of cool little projects on here and stuff like that. Now, like Scream, it worked perfectly. A lot of the people on Phantom got there was a lot of delevering that happened. People were borrowing and lending a lot of money on Scream, mostly people from Tomb.finance and this guy called Phantom King. And a lot of like this at some point had, I think at the peak, it had a lot of money in TVL at some point, and now a lot of the borrowing and lending that was going on Scream has moved over to Geist. So Geist was way down here, and then recently a lot of money's been pumped into Geist and stuff as where the people are kind of doing all their leverage trading and stuff and leverage borrowing and stuff on Geist and stuff. So it's sort of an interesting sort of thing. You got to Reaper farm and stuff like that. So a much healthier ecosystem and a much more trustworthy ecosystem and stuff. So I think Phantom is going to make it. It's something I'm still very bullish on. I mean, I've been recently DCAing into some of the protocols on this platform, as well as I'm still doing something like, personally, I'm doing something like a 40% split into Phantom, 60% into ecosystem tokens and stuff like that. But it's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Oh, shout out to DSG, man. Happy New Year's, DCC. I'm looking for building up a Boo position. Should I start DCing now or wait for the... I have started my DCing to Boo, personally. I have now. I like Boo a lot. I stand by it. I like Boo. It does have that risk with it being like some shadowy super coders there. So it just is what it is. I'm willing to take that risk on it. But at $1, it's pretty good. It's the sort of thing where I would be surprised if it went below 80 cents. I don't think it'd go below 80 cents, even with the big market drop. But we'd have to see, maybe. But it just is what it is there. But I'd start my DC. I think right now it's kind of safe-ish still to start doing a DCA, just to get a position in. But yeah. What are we talking about here? Let's see. I'm Mexican. Pozole has meat. Fuck menudo. What? No, sir. No. Pozole is awesome. Menudo is awesome. Menudo, if you're hungover, bro, menudo fucking get you. Pozole does not hold a candle to menudo. 0% chance. Like, no. Menudo is a way better hangover cure, but pozole is still amazing too. They're both awesome. Yeah. I was thinking about building up a position in Boo. Yeah, Boo. I think Boo is a good one. And like at some point, I'll probably end up doing a Phantom stream at some point as well. Right now I'm working on getting the founder of Reaper on a stream and stuff live in person and stuff like that. So we might actually do a whole Phantom stream. It would be pretty cool. Eventually, I'll do a Phantom stream. But if I am live in studio, so I'll probably do it. So when I'm live in studio again, you guys, I'm going to do an entire a very different sort of. So like kind of if you guys look on my channel, I did a stream on the Fed. I'm going to do some style of video, sort of like a there with the Fed, but it's going to be on a topic that interests me about demographics and about generations of the Bloomer generation and stuff like that. And it's gonna be quite an interesting stream. I think a lot of you guys are going to get a lot of kick out of it. But then there's going to be I'm gonna weave a lot of like facts, finances, things about our culture, as well as like how this relates to crypto and demographics and like the overall macro kind of scope of what's going on right now, and why like the US is in a really good position, but the rest of the world's kind of in a shitty situation. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah. Sorry. I know this is super serial financial. It definitely is, man. Definitely is. Let's see. You have to be Mexican like Menudo. I am Mexican. That's right. King of Latinos. That's right. But with that, you guys, man, thank you so much for coming, man. My next stream will be this Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And with that, man, thank you so much for coming, man. This is gonna be like, don't disappear, you guys. Stay in the space. Stay in the cut, man. We're gonna fucking buy the bottom, and we're gonna like rise above, dude. 2023 is going to be, I think, it end up being a really profitable year for a lot of people. You have to be paying attention. You have to buy these bottoms and stuff like that. But I think yielding the whole year, buying the bottoms, Ethereum finally making multiples. Maybe at the end of the year, we might be at $2,000-$3,000 on Ethereum, and we're sitting on some nice capital. And it's just like 2023 is going to be pretty bad for some people, but it's not going to be bad for us. So with that, man, catch you guys on Thursday. Peace.